All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about something kind of crazy, a financial phenomenon that, believe it or not, might be hiding in a dusty box in your childhood attic. And what it says about what we think is valuable, well, it's pretty wild. Okay, let me ask you something. If I said, what was the absolute best investment of the last 10 years? What's the first thing that pops into your head? You've probably got a few ideas, right? I bet you're thinking tech stocks, right? Or maybe crypto with its insane ups and downs. Or hey, even real estate. Solid guesses. But nope, you'd be wrong on all of them. The real answer, the actual best investment, is something way, way more nostalgic. Yep, Pokémon cards. Seriously, those little pocket monsters you used to trade during recess, they've grown up. And now they're serious high-value assets. This isn't just some quirky little hobby anymore. It's a full-blown market, and it's all fueled by a generation that now has some cash and wants to buy back a piece of their childhood. All right, let's dig in and look at some of the actual prices these cards are selling for. And trust me, they are absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, to put it simply, the prices are just insane. We're not talking about like a little bump in value here. We are talking about a straight-up meteoric rise. We're talking about turning little pieces of cardboard into actual gold. So let's start with the big one, the holy grail for pretty much any original collector. You know what I'm talking about, the first edition holographic Charizard. This was the card everyone wanted. And to find one in perfect PSA 10 gem mint condition, that means it's been professionally graded as completely flawless. That is just ridiculously rare. So just how rare are we talking? Well, one of these just sold for over $500,000. Let that sink in. $550,000 for one piece of cardboard. Wow. And it's not just the single cards either. Let's say you were one of those kids with incredible self-control and you got a first edition booster box and you just never opened it. Well, turns out you're sitting on an actual treasure chest. Yeah, one of those just went for a staggering $48,000. A huge part of the appeal there is the mystery, right? The potential for perfectly preserved, super high-grade cards waiting inside. It's basically the ultimate lottery ticket for a collector. But here's the crazy part. Believe it or not, all of that was just the warm-up. We're about to look at the single most insane record-smashing card sale in history. And yeah, it involves a very famous face and a card that's almost impossibly rare. So the card we're talking about is the Pikachu Illustrator. Now, you could never buy this in a pack. It was only given out as a prize for a contest back in Japan. We only know of 39 of them in existence. But the one we're focused on, it's truly one of a kind. It is the only one in the entire world that's been graded a perfect PSA 10. Okay, so check this out. The whole journey of this card is just nuts. First, the influencer Logan Paul buys this totally unique card for $5.2 million, which was already a record-breaking number. But then he turns around and sells it at auction, and it goes for a mind-blowing $16.4 million, setting the all-time record for any Pokémon card ever. And here's the real kicker, the profit. We're talking a massive 213% return on his investment from one single transaction. That kind of performance is, it's pretty much unheard of. So a 213% return sounds big, but how big is it really? Let's put it into perspective and see how it stacks up against something a bit more traditional, like, say, the stock market. And wow, this really puts it all into perspective. That 213% isn't just a big number floating out there. Look at this. During that exact same time frame, the S&P 500, the benchmark for the entire stock market, returned a respectable 57%. Which is good, but compared to the Pikachu card, it's tiny. That card didn't just beat the market, it completely and utterly dwarfed it. A story like this makes you step back and think. This isn't really just about Pokémon cards anymore, is it? It points to a much bigger shift in what we, as a culture, decide is actually a valuable asset. So what's the big takeaway here? Well, it leaves us with this one final question to chew on. What we've just seen is like a perfect storm, right? You've got 90s nostalgia, you've got extreme rarity, and you've got influencer culture all mixing together to turn a childhood memory into a multi-million-dollar asset. And it really makes you wonder, in this world of digital stuff and trends that come and go in a flash, is there any limit at all, to the value we're willing to put on these real, tangible pieces of our own past?